Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to round 2 of the 2016 YugiTuber Grand Championship. In this match, we have AlintheaYoh playing his patented Skull Servants going up against Blair Hunter of TheCardGuyz, who's going to be playing Phantom Knight Kaiju Burning Abyss from what it seems. And with us for this commentary, you know him, you love him, Yugimation!
Welcome back, everyone! Nice! We have Will playing one of my favorite all-time decks of all times, Skull Servants, repping the King of Bones. Hell yes! So Blair's coming out, obviously the instant Dante, because that's what PK Fire / Kaiju does, instantly. And
the best part about Will playing Skull Servants is that you actually know what's going to be going on for once.
I can actually tell a play-by-play of what Will might do. No, want to know why? Because I piloted that crap for at least a year.
At least.
Way before I heard of whoever this AlintheaYoh guy is. And it was a pretty good time. I had a lot of fun. And I know Will, being the master of king of Skull Servants, whatever you want to call it, easy win. Beatrice, no problem.
So
get over that shit. No worries.
No worries?
Don't worry about a thing, dude.
Okay.
Bob Marley, my man.
Seems
all right,
mathematician. That one of mathematician is a very, very good...
I got this, Alex. I got this. Matt, never mind. I don't got this. Warning came down, because I know what he was going to do. He was going to be sending Prince, which allows you to send a Skull Servant and a Lady in White from the deck. That's an easy -3 from your potential draws, and it's just almost an instant King to Skull Servants if you have especially that barrel from a different dimension.
Easy points, ladies and gentlemen. And so,
easy
in the end phase,
it's so easy.
We're going to be searching off that tour guide, and not looking too good for Will, because if that tour guide can resolve, he's going to be in a lot of trouble here. He can use that beat.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Don't matter?
Will, I have confidence in my man Will. He's going to do it. Bringing out Skull Servants. Hold on. Tour guide from the underworld. Normal summon. Going to be grabbing, obviously, a Terror Top. Right? Am I right?
Obviously. I'm actually genuinely surprised that Blair didn't use Beatrice to spin away the back row first. Looking at the deck list, I don't think he actually has a Cow Cab unless it was at the very bottom. But that would have just been the perfect ideal play in this situation. So maybe he wants to save it for something else, but it just seems a little bit odd.
Yeah, you're right. I was trying to take a quick look through that deck when Blair was searching through, and I don't think I saw a Cow Cab. It could just be the speed. Blair's just too fast. You hear me? You feeling me?
Absolutely.
But anyways, Beatrice can be detaching, can be sending something to the grave. Obviously, Phantom Knights in graveyard is always an instant plus.
And it looks like,
let's get down and dirty.
Looking at the deck list, it actually doesn't look like he runs Cow Cap, so that's really unfortunate, because if that back row is something that can really punish him here, it's just going to be really unfortunate. But he's got Fog Blade, which is awesome, because now we can just banish that to bring back the cloak, and then...
Easy stuff.
I know.
Easy stuff.
Easy. Might as well just push that easy button.
Exactly. It's, was it Staples, right?
Yep.
There we go.
And so he's going to be going into a Leviair here, which is interesting, because now he's going to be able to bring back the boots.
The foot, dude.
I'm sorry, foot. It's going to bring back the foot.
Did we forget from first round? Of course we did.
Of course.
Oh, but never mind. We see bottomless.
Yeah,
Will might be a little late on that one, but it's all right because it's the end.
It's okay. And I think, Blair did look like he was going a little bit fast there. I mean, it looked like he just kind of, the second he summoned Leviair, is just like, fuck it, I'm just going for it. I'm not going to declare.
Exactly. Bust out the Sonic theme. Too fast for you.
So now it looks like
It's an awkward silence. Let's never have an awkward silence. No matter what, just, play music in the background. All right, so Blair is switching that Beatrice to attack, obviously instant 25 to the face, and the Graph 1k, making a total of 35 damage for the turn.
Absolutely. That Graph's still on board because Tour Guide did negate the effects of Graph, so that's why it's still there and isn't going anywhere.
Oh, really?
And, and...
No, Will. Please. You have the will to live. Don't just set a monster and pass turn. Will, what are you doing?
Now, that could be something, actually, I don't know. What could that be that would be beneficial to him at this point?
All right, so it could be, if Will's running it, a Goblin Zombie to perhaps search something such as Unizombie from the deck. It could be a set White Prince, which will allow him to mill a Lady in White and a Skull Servant from the deck. Or it could be a Lady in White herself, which has a 2200 booty. So good. But, not enough to block out that
I was going to say, that Beatrice booty's way bigger than that Lady in White. So, if you learned anything, kids, bigger booty always wins.
Okay, so I'm wondering this. All right, so Sir dies, all right, because Beatrice is not a thing. Ooh, flip the vanities.
Ooh, that's actually pretty rough. So, I mean, he pretty much just took a minus on that.
Took a minus. All right, so it was a lady in white.
It was lady in white, so, I mean, Will just does kind of lose the emptiness there. But, I mean, it did stop the seer recurring the Dante, so that wasn't too bad.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and of course, you know, a lot of players, they attack with the lowest monster first. Some, not everyone, but they'll attack with the lowest monster first. And if Blair did that, he would have ran into the 2200 and them having to block out some damage from the Beatrice. But of course, that didn't happen.
And instead, he actually got to get some damage connected directly to AlintheaYoh's face. And now he's really going to need something big here to turn this around because, as we can see, his board's pretty good, his hand's pretty good, and his back row is just going to even further solidify that state at this point.
Absolutely. If there's one thing that Skull Servants do lack is protection from card effects.
Ooh.
So that Kaiju Slumber actually would put in a lot of work if he did happen to bring out a King of the Skull Servants himself. If, of course, he didn't have a Lady in White on the field, which does protect level 3 and lower zombie-type monsters from being destroyed by battle and spell and trap effects.
The biggest thing I feel like at this point that Blair has to worry about is that back row that Will has, because that could be the thing that just keeps him in this game. But
Storming Mirror Force, calling it right now. It's
it
Storming.
It can even be Drowning Mirror Force. I mean,
yeah, but don't you have to activate it during a direct attack?
It does, but he would direct attack him anyway. I'm just saying. Both would be ideal in this situation. Let's just be honest.
You know what? Just Mirror Force, except for the main one, would be good.
I know, and maybe Dark. And Radiant.
And Dark, there we go. And Radiant. You know what? There's a lot of Mirror Forces that I didn't account for.
Burying Mirror Force would actually be the best card right now.
Ooh, there you go.
Let's be real. Because then that would basically just mean he couldn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! For the rest of the game. But, it ain't actually, and that's a complete lie, he has Kaiju Slumber. But anyway, he's going right in. He's going to let that Farfetch'd just immediately kill itself on the summon because Beatrice is a non-burning Abyss monster. He's just going to banish that card. And Will's going to scoop it up because he actually had exact damage on board. We're going into game 2.
All right. Oh, sweet. Unizombie coming down. All right, hold on.
Good.
I know the specs. Unizombie is able to target himself, increase his level by 1, send a zombie from the deck. This is perfect with Mizuki and or your White Princes, and of White Prince being sent to the grave in any way possible, milling a Lady in White and Skull Servant himself, milling 3 cards from the deck, meaning that either one, Will can either just start setting up the grave for the massive king that will come out.
Ooh, and he had the Mizuki in hand to pitch for it again.
There we go. So, Unizombie is allowed to discard a card and increase his level, increase the monster on the field by 1. And, of course, Mizuki being one of the best zombie-type monsters around. Because we remember the XYZ zombie days, right?
Do you remember when Mizuki first came out and that card was so expensive?
Oh, my goodness. It was the nuts.
Oh, man.
The
Secret
nuts.
Rare. God, what were those? I don't even remember what it was reaching. Like, wasn't it like 40 or 50?
Something
it was
like
something
that. It was
crazy, yeah.
Insane.
It's been a while, but ending with a first turn Cyframe Lord Omega is pretty fucking good because now he gets to recur Mizuki back into his grave to reuse again next turn if he so chooses.
Omega is exactly what the deck needed.
Agree.
Is because Mizuki, you can use all 3 Mizuki possibly in one turn. Never mind, because we have Kaijus coming down.
On the Cyframe Lord Omega. I mean, that's what's so good. Like, you can't... Like, Cyframe Lord Omega is so good against so many different things, except Kaijus.
Personally, I would have, as soon as main phase 1 started up, I would have used Omega's effect. But of course, how did we know that, or how did Will know that Blair was playing Kaijus? Because he did not see a single Kaiju card in the previous
Absolutely.
Game. So he could have thought it was just
And
PK
honestly, Will could think that he sided these in, to be perfectly honest. So, I mean, that's the thing. And the thing is, well, he actually couldn't immediately use Cyframe Lord Omega's effect.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Check this out. We just have another White Prince heading into grave.
Yeah.
Mizuki banished itself to bring out Unizombie. So we have a total of 6 Skull Servant cards in the graveyard right now. And Mizuki being pitched again. My goodness, the explosive plays that we can see gets me all chilly.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I was saying is, I don't believe you can actually Cyframe Lord Omega immediately in main phase 1 because since it's actually not his, it's not an open game state. So he actually has to wait till Blair does something before he can actually use it. But
you know what? Very, very, very good observation.
That's why the Kaijus are such a perfect counter because there's literally nothing you can do against it if you have Omega.
Yeah.
So
because obviously the tributing effect of bringing out a Kaiju is a summon. so it does not.
It doesn't start a chain.
Doesn't start a chain.
And so Will putting that White Prince back into his deck, and this is the kind of start he needed. He's going to bring out the Lady in White to just grant some further protection. He's probably just going to sync up maybe into Omega again. That's what it looks like.
That's something I would do, exactly, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because you have
and he has the king!
And the king! King coming down! Woo!
And that king is on 5k attack because there are 5 Skull Servant monsters in the graveyard.
This is gonna hurt. This is gonna connect.
That's 2,600 and another 28, totaling up to 54. Actually, that's weird. I'm surprised he didn't attack with the Omega.
No, it's because when you use Unizombie's
Oh, that's right.
To set, you can only
see, and that's why I'm glad you're commentating this.
See, I know these things.
You know the little intricacies that a lot of us would probably miss.
A lot of people, when I would play the deck, was like, why didn't you just finish me off? It's like, I can't. I don't want to cheat.
Because, the deck is too fair. That's the problem.
It is far too fair compared to some of the other decks that we see.
Absolutely. But, I mean...
Which is kind of getting me thinking that, were those the only 2 Kaiju cards that Blair had?
Well, see, here's the thing. Because even if he did slumber, Omega could just chain to protect itself. So he wouldn't...
Well, still, that 5k king is pretty deadly to stare down.
Yeah, I guess, but maybe he's just trying to possibly save it. I'm actually not too sure. I mean, we can find out right here when he's in his deck. Unless those last 2 Kaijus are at the bottom, and it looks like we're not going to find out.
I didn't scroll down.
Damn it, Blair. Why didn't you scroll down for the commentary? Oh, and the end phase Twin Twister!
The Twin Twister.
That's just like
down.
the nail in the coffin. I think this might be it.
I don't know. That set monster is a Farfa, so no matter what, unless he has some way to counter it, which at this moment Skull Servants don't have a lot of.
I mean, he could just summon another king.
There you go. Because no matter what, that effect to banish a monster when it's sent to the graveyard will not possibly protect Blair in the slightest. Mm-hmm. So we can see a nice game coming to an end right here and have us go on to game 3. But you never know. Blair can pull some nasty tricks.
Now, Mizuki's summoning back out Unizombie once again. What would be the best... Because the thing is, you pretty much want another king at this point, because you want to have something else that, if he knew that's a Farfa, which, we can't really assume that.
Prince in hand discards it. That boosts king up another 1k.
It's pretty good. So Omega's going to swing in.
Good.
And so obviously he's going to banish the king so that it's not going to get its attack. Yeah. And so Unizombie's going to swing in for 13 here. And it's going to leave Blair in a very, very awkward position. And the best part about AlintheaYoh's position right now, too, is that he's basically gotten all the dead cards out of his deck, and he got them right where he wants them.
I have legitimately drawn into, triple Skull Servant and double White Prince during testing hands. I was one of those people that played triple of all the Skull Servant cards, and this is why Will is a master, because I'm fairly sure his build only plays 2 Skull Servants and 2 White Mare and White Prince.
I mean, there's a good argument to make for either way, because, you really want to boost your king up as much as possible. So
exactly.
Yeah. And it looks like here... he's just going to be setting that one monster, and he's going to set the Kaiju Slumber as a bluff.
You know what? Then that was it. Those were the only 2 Kaijus that Blair had in the beginning, and he just happened to draw both of them.
And it just really goes to show that Omega, how much impact it's having right now. That Omega has recycled that Mizuki 3 times now.
So many times. I wish that I had Omega when I was still playing the game.
It doesn't banish anything off the allure, so he has to get rid of his whole hand. But it doesn't really matter at this point, because he's going to attack over, and he's going to be Seer. So now Seer's going to recur the Farfa, which is going to delay Blair's defeat for one more turn here. I mean, he could still pull it off. I mean, Burning Abyss Phantom Knight Kaiju, if you want to call it that, is a very resilient deck, so...
Exactly.
He's not out of it, but it's not looking too good. Blair just kind of mitigating as much damage as possible. And drawing into the Terror Top. Okay.
Drawing into Terror Top. All right.
Okay.
Standby phase bringing back that Mizuki back to grave. We see it.
I know.
It's coming in.
God, that's so good. That amount of advantage he's gotten off that. I can't get over it. It's so good. So here comes the Terror Top.
All right. So I have a feeling that Will definitely want to wait for him to search the other wind guy. I actually don't remember his name, and I used him, so...
Now, unless I missed something, me, right? I don't think Blair specialed the Terror Top.
No, he...
Unless he just did it and like was assuming it's special, but he's gonna hit the cloak, which in some ways is kind of better because now Blair doesn't get a good mill off of whatever he makes.
And of course he could have gone into wait, no, never mind. You have to discard a Burning Abyss card.
Correct.
I retract my last statement. No Beatrice this
Absolutely.
time.
So he could go into a Dante here, or I'm trying to think of anything else that could really save him, but I mean he's gonna need to mill something pretty godly at this point to keep himself in this.
Yeah. That Dante going to come down. Obviously going to be swinging on the either the not Mizuki, Unizombie, or
those are some rough mills. He had Scarm, but Scarm's not really going to do him any good in this situation. He really needed like a Seer. He needed way more than what he got off that mill.
So we see a quick chat between Blair and another one of the viewers. They're going to Worlds. Quote them on that.
Going to Worlds, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag Worlds.
Hashtag Worlds. They're going.
And so Blair's just going to scoop it up, knowing that even if he does do he attacks anything, Omega's just going to come back, swing over the Dante, and then Skull Servant King will just finish him off. So we're going into Game 3. Looks like Skull Servants are having a chance right now. This is really exciting. Can't wait to see what happens in this match.
Finally, something that I know everyone will be enjoying. Will, congratulations. You get a round of applause from me right now. Oh, no! I think we've seen a play like this before. Man. I can't remember where.
This could be it. This could be exactly what Will needs. On the tour guide play of all things, too.
That is some heavy hits right there. I want to see what Will can pull off in this
Here comes the Unizombie, and unfortunately that's going to get hit by Solemn Warning.
That's the big plays. If you hit the Unizombie quick, it does not fill up the grave and get the dead draws out of the deck, so you never know.
And I mean, at this point, too, Blair can just swing for some damage at this point, but he's dead.
Is this the second time opening hand that Blair has had Solemn Warning?
Yeah, because he opened with a Game 1 as well. So
Judge, I'm calling Judge.
Check. Blair's running multiple copies of Warning. No, we're just kidding. So at this point now, like I said, Blair can just swing for some damage. He can't actually... I'm trying to think. He could Farfa Flying Sea, but I forget how that ruling works. If it returns to Blair's side or if it goes back to AlintheaYoh's.
Right.
So, and it looks like he's going to do that. So maybe it does go back to... Maybe it goes back to Will's side. So he's going to banish off Flying Sea. Which is good, because even if it does come back to his own side, he can still always do some sort of play here. So, not the worst case scenario.
Skull Servants have no need to go into extra deck, except for the Omega, because Omega is just pure beast.
So you're saying AlintheaYoh might as well just be running 3 Omegas in his extra deck?
Preferably. I mean, there's always those situations that you need, because Unizombie is a tuner, and you can go into any of the big level 8s, especially like Void Ogre, Beals.
Like Scarlight.
Skull Servants still do. Scarlight.
There's so many
like
good
that,
8s you could go into, actually. So
I'm a little jealous. I wish I had those when I was playing.
Yeah, it's just so funny to see like this. I guess we could call it a vintage deck. The amount of like support. I guess it's
memories.
Like indirect support that we see cards like Omega and all these other new cards kind of supporting. It's just really cool to see that.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so we see the Beatrice come down, and now if Will's playing Kaijus, that would just be incredible.
That'd be
if you think about it, though, how good would that be? Because he could just Kaiju over whatever, and then summon out King, and King would be on, in a good world. King would be at
second Unizombie coming down. All right, we're getting somewhere.
We're getting somewhere. But I was saying he only needs to have like that King be at 3K to be able to run over any of the Kaijus. So that's actually not a terrible tech in that deck. And then you could also synchro it with Unizombie and make something like Leo or any other level 10. Or you can go up to 11 to make Star Eater.
Oh.
So, there's some synergy there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we see the Alex going to come down on the summon of the Unizombie, so it's going to negate. And I'm assuming Unizombie does not send for cost.
Yeah, it does not send for cost. It only targets.
That's pretty good on Blair's part that he picked up on that.
So it's a little iffy on Will's part, but you never know. It happens. Stop the Unizombie, stop the plays.
But very good on Blair's end, like I said, that he was able to pick up that it does not send for cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of people were just like, it sends for cost anyway, might as well let it go.
Exactly, because, again, because this deck is a fair deck.
Yes. It is so fair, it is unfair to the person playing it.
Of course. And so now...
So that's always fun.
And now Blair with that Beatrice in attack mode, 3 set cards, and... Ooh, not looking too good for AlintheaYoh. He just only sets a card and passes. There's not really a whole lot that could be that would be anything useful at this point.
Exactly, and with Beatrice having its last detach and a loaded graveyard with a bunch of stuff back there as well.
Sending the Kaiju Slumber so that during his turn he can banish it to add a Kaiju and just tribute the fuck over that set monster.
This is not looking good for Will at all. Please, don't go down like this. I know your deck revolves around being in the grave, but don't get out of the tournament just yet, Will. Please. Pull some shenanigans.
I really like this play. But the thing is, does he not have the Sticky String Kaiju? Because I think... Yeah, I was going to say, Godarla is actually 27. So he's going to need to find a way to do a little bit more damage to get over it. I think
personally, I would have gotten Gamiso because he's the least one. Only 2,200 attack, but...
Yeah, I'm surprised that he's not, unless he sided them out or something. It's just odd that
No, there was one Gamiso still.
Oh, it was? Okay. Oh, and the second Flying C!
The second Maxi coming down like nothing!
Because he was just going to go ahead and make anything that could just... that Ragged Gloves was just going to boost that monster by 1,000, so... And he's going to use
the sword
Blade to negate the Flying C.
The counter plays are being countered.
Oh my god.
And is to add insult to injury using the flying set. Wait a second. Is that a condition? No, wait, I need to read it. This card cannot be... Damn it, I can't read. It was going by too quick.
Wow, now he's going to tribute over the set vanilla OG Skull Servant into the Godarla. That Break Sword is at 3k because of the Ragged Gloves, so he's not going to have the OTK here, but he is still possibly going to be able to... After he does some Break Sword shenanigans, he's probably going to be able to win.
Yeah. Because I would assume that Break Sword would pop itself to...
No, he's just going to pop the boots and the Godarla, and now he has 5,500 on board, so... And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Blair Hunter of TheCardGuyz is going to knock out AlintheaYoh and proceed on to the top 8. So thank you so much for watching the video, and we will see you in the next match.